everyone. I am Councilwoman Dr. Naya Glover. I will be hosting this webinar tonight, focusing on teen stress and screens, what works. So it's hosted by the Fayetteville Mental Health Advisory Board. Every month we focus on different topics so that we can ensure that we're providing best practices and resources to the city. So as we begin to transition into our presentation, we will focus on the why the topic matters. Teen stress, anxiety, and emotional challenges are rising at concerning levels across the country. At the same time, screens and social media have become a central part of everyday life for young people. While technology offers benefits, it also introduces new challenges that impacts mental health, sleep, as well as self-esteem. So these are the main domains that we will focus on throughout this presentation. This presentation focuses on what research shows actually works to support our teens in building healthier relationships with screens and managing stress effectively. So looking at the current reality for teens and understanding what their needs are, today's teens are more connected than ever before, often spending several hours a day on smartphones, social media, as well as digital platforms. Many teens report increased feelings of anxiety, stress, as well as pressure, both from school as well as their online environments. Constant access to information, notifications, and social comparison can make it difficult for teens to disconnect as well as recharge. So many teens are constantly connected again, which can make it harder to truly reset from their everyday. What we see on the outside, which is the screen use as parents, educators, etc., often reflects what's happening internally, stress and pressure for our teens. So let's reframe the problem. The issue is not simply too much screen time. The real challenge includes how screens are being used, why teens are turning to screens, and how screens use affect sleep as well as emotional stability in our teens. To create real change, we must move beyond limiting screen time and instead focus on understanding our teens' behavior, emotions, as well as daily habits. So instead of focusing only, let's say, on the screen time, from a clinical standpoint, we want to now focus on what is needed for screens and why teens are turning more towards the need of screen time. This shift helps adults respond with more effective and less conflict when they're engaging their teens. So how screens can increase stress? Not all screen use is harmful, but certain patterns can increase stress. Endless scrolling on social media can lead to comparison, low self-esteem, and feelings of not being enough or good enough. Constant notification as well as digital engagement can overwhelm the brain, making it harder to focus as well as relax. Seeking validation through social media likes as well as comments have shown to create emotional highs and lows within our teens. So again, from that clinical standpoint, social media can make teens feel like they have to measure up to other individuals. Small interactions online can have a big emotional impact. It can create quick highs again and lows throughout their actual day. So being knowledgeable of these highs and lows that are created by the constant interaction with digital engagement is vital to ensuring that we're managing the stress, emotional support, and cognitive support of our students. So sleep is also impaired. Another component that I see when I'm working with my clients, there's an increase in negative sleep hygiene. This is the most overlooked factor. One of the biggest impact of screen use is definitely on our sleep hygiene. Using phones late at night can delay sleep and reduce sleep quality. Blue light from screens interferes with the body's natural sleep cycle. Lack of sleep is strongly linked to the increase of anxiety, irritability, and difficulty managing emotions. Improving sleep habits is one of the most effective ways to improve teen mental health, anxiety, depression, and just overall stress level. So sleep, again, is one of the biggest drivers of teens' moods as well as their behavior. When sleep improves, we often see improvement in anxiety, focus, and attitude, but also in their academic performance. This is one of the easiest places to start as a clinician. So why do teens rely on screens? Teens often turn to screens as a way to cope with stress, boredom, or loneliness. Screens can provide distraction, connection, and temporary relief from difficult emotional times at that level in their life. So over time, this can create a pattern where teens rely on screens instead of developing healthy coping skills. So understanding this behavior is the key to helping our teens navigate different challenges in their lives as well as make better choices. Screens often help teens cope with their boredom, stress, as well as loneliness patterns. Without other tools in place or healthier alternatives in place, this can become their main way of managing their emotions. So the goal is to give them more options, not just simply take away their screen time. So understanding the difference between a passive versus an active screen use. Not all screen time has to be, negative in its introduction in their life. So some can have some positive aspects. Passive use, such as scrolling through social media, is more likely to increase stress as well as negative emotions. However, those active uses, such as creating content, learning new skills, or communicating with purpose, can be more positive and engaging. So encouraging more intentional and active use can be a healthy way or a helpful way to reduce negative effects. So again, understanding how the teens are actually using screen time is important. Not all screen time is equal. Passive scrolling tends to leave teens feeling worse. Active use of screen time can be more positive and purposeful. We want to kind of guide the usage and not just reduce the usage. What actually works? So looking at it from a research standpoint, research shows that the most effective solution focus on balance and behavior, not strict restrictions from our teen population. So replacing screen time with meaningful activities, improving sleep routines, teaching emotional awareness, encouraging healthy social connections. These strategies support long-term well-being rather than the short-term control aspects that teens feel that is actually taking place. So strict rules alone do not create lasting change. Teens respond better to balance. Of course, some structure as well as understanding. Long-term habits matter more than short-term control. Replacement in this area, do not just restrict. So we want to replace with positive activities. Simply taking screens away often leads to frustration and resistance. Instead, it is more effective to provide alternatives that are engaging and fulfilling. Activities such as sports, creative hobbies, and social events can meet the same needs that screens often fill. When teens are engaged in meaningful activities, their reliance on screens naturally decreases. So taking away without alternatives often lead to frustration in our teens. When teenagers are engaged in more meaningful activities, screen usage naturally again decreases. It's about filling that gap, not just removing the behavior, and again, understanding and building that safe space for teens to discuss with parents or educators, and even healthier friendships. Creating those healthier, lasting friendships are a vital part of replacing with positive alternatives. So building emotional awareness and coping skills, we will continue to focus in this area as we move to next month, focusing on stress and into Mental Health Awareness Month in May. So we want to continue to focus on building emotional awareness, emotional regulation that fosters emotional intelligence. Helping teens understand their emotions is a positive tool for reducing stress. Encouraging practices like journaling, mindfulness, and open conversations can help teens recognize what they are feeling and why. When teens learn healthier ways to cope with stress, they're less likely to depend on screens for emotional release. So teens are still learning. It's important to understand that teens are still learning how to handle big emotions as they transition into different levels of their life educationally and start to think about what their long-term goals are. When they understand what they're feeling, they make better choices. Simple tools like talking, again, journaling, and pausing can cause a big difference in how they will navigate those big emotions. Creating healthy environments as well as support systems, again, that goes back to teens do better in environments with clear, consistent expectations. So healthy habits are easier to build in supportive environments. Simple changes such as limiting phone use before bedtime and during family time can make a big difference. Adults play a key role by modeling desired and healthy behaviors in the environment and creating an open, non-judgmental, free communication environment. Strong connection with peers, family, and community also have shown to help reduce stress as well as screen dependency. So small boundaries in this area, like no phone at night, can improve overall well-being as well as that sleep hygiene, improving getting quality rest for that ability to rejuvenate and reset for everyday life functioning, but also academia as well. Strong relationships are one of the biggest protective factors that you want to cultivate at early years in young adults as well. So as you transition into middle life, later life, then it helps with those social convoys and that social interaction that's needed to transition in every stage of your life, kind of moving forward. So as we transition into the conclusion of this presentation, important things that we want to focus on. Screen use is not the root problem. It is often a response to stress, boredom, or unmet emotional needs. To truly support teen mental health, we must focus on improving sleep. So having some positive boundaries in place for our teens, having regular communication with them as well is vital to the process. Ensuring that teens know that they can come to, again, their peers, family, community leaders, all opening those communication modalities to ensure that they can build or foster healthy interactions, interpersonal interactions as well. Building emotional awareness is important. So working on conflict resolution, stress management are great tools as well. Also, becoming a little bit more self-aware. The younger you are, that conditioning, that young conditioning transitions throughout every level of your life as well. Encouraging real world connections is important, kind of getting outside a little bit more. We are in an information technology driven environment today, but becoming a little bit more active and proactive in everyday life is vital to mental health as well. So getting engaged in community events, different types of school events are vital to minimizing stressors in our teens, but also that screen time that has shown to lead to some of those stressors. Encourage or creating balance as supportive environments. We want to encourage that within the home, right? So from micro to macro, looking first within the home and how we can better support our teens, what we can do to ensure that we are standing in that fold with them, ensuring that they have the support that they actually need. Also, by focusing on what works, we can help teens develop healthier habits and stronger mental well-being. So looking at screen use is as often a response to potentially what is going on is vital as well. So it's not the root issue, but how they're actually utilizing their screen time. When we support sleep as a focus point to ensuring their ongoing well-being is important. Emotional regulation and connection outside of the home are vital. Screen habits improve naturally. So the goal is, again, would be more of a balance, a long-term well-being balance, focusing on ensuring that our teens as well as our young adults understand the importance of that mind-body connection, ensuring that they understand how prioritizing that is important too, to understanding how your mind works and how those two, the mind-body connection, play a vital role in sustainability in all domains of your life. So as we continue on, we will continue to bring forth different resources to our citizens. One of the main ones I always like to highlight would be the Fayetteville Mental Health Advisory Board. And going to our mental health hub is important as well. It provides a whole host of information, especially for our teens that may be struggling with stress or trying to figure out their life path that's causing some stress, or actually just kind of looking into career opportunities moving forward in their lives and trying to think of things that they may want to do. We have a lot of great things that are coming up on the calendar within the Mental Health Advisory Board. So continue to look out for those things that are coming to the forefront soon. Also, the Fayette County Public Library has teens programs, awesome interactive teen programs, hangouts, and things of that nature. So start looking into your local public library. The Fayette Care Clinic is also a great resource for those that may be challenged financially or just seeking care mentally for some stressors in their life. Findhelp.org is also a great resource. It has, again, a whole host of information, resources that are actually tailored directly to your area, right? Georgia Crisis and Access Line, also beneficial. NAMI, Georgia Helpline, and then any emergency or escalated type of challenges, 988 would be the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. So as always, we are always here to help our citizens in any kind of way, shape, form, or fashion. If you need any assistance, please feel free to reach out and communicate some of the things that you all may need from us as a board out here trying to ensure that you are assisted in any way possible. So as always, we want to thank you for all the things that you are doing and all the great emails that I do receive, that you're very, very excited about some of the things that we're doing here with the Mental Health Advisory Board. So please make sure that you come out and continue to engage. And as the weather change, we'll continue to do more things, and we're kind of pushing those events moving outdoors now, since we're getting some clear skies and things of that nature. So please feel free to reach out and definitely come out to some of the things that we're having coming up on our calendar. We have one of our board members that are here. Ms. Sophia, do you have anything you want to say in closing?
No, I enjoyed what little bit I did here, and I appreciate you offering your time to keep us informed about the mental health and the resources that we have to offer. So thank you, Dr. Glover.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sophia. Thank you and have a great night, everyone. Again, if you need anything from me as your councilwoman, please reach out at nglover at fayetteville-ga.gov. Or you can go to our mental health hub here, showing Fayetteville GA-mentalhealthhub.org. Please take a look at the information there. It has a lot of great things. It's an opportunity for you all to complete the PHQ-9 scale, which looks into depressive symptoms, anxiety scale as well. So you can get a baseline on how you're actually feeling today so that you can move towards additional healing tomorrow. So if you need anything from us, please feel free to reach out. Thank you all so much. And I look forward to seeing everyone as the weather change at our outdoor events.